All right, everybody, welcome in. We got our week 4 edition of Starts and Sits today. Thank you for tuning in last week. We're hoping to keep the ball rolling this week. Dante, week 4, how you feeling, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. I saw last week we hit on all of our locks last week, 3 for 3. So feeling pretty good. I
Yes,
got some
sir.
money in the bank, and yeah, ready to get going this week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a rare week when we can all nail it at the same time, man. Some good money, just helps cap off a really great fantasy week. So we're gonna get it rolling here. We got our week 4 start of the week. I'm gonna start it off, and my week 4 start is going to be Michael Pittman this week. Not a huge surprise. Pittman at this point has seen 11 targets in his first 3 games, and Michael Pittman is also a zone killer. He is targeted 40% as a first read against zone coverage. Shout out to Derek Brown for that stat. And he is playing a defense this week that is heavy, heavy zone defense. So it is going to be a huge week for Pittman. Like I said, at this week, most of you guys are already starting him, but this is a guy that maybe if you're in that 2 wide receiver league and you got a couple receivers, this is a guy that I'd have penciled in as a wide receiver 15 and higher this week. So Michael Pittman must play, and you may see some Anthony Richardson as well step in this week.
Yeah, I like that pick, Mike, especially with A. Rich coming back. If he does come back, you got Michael Pittman. If you drafted him, you know why you drafted him. He is his own killer, and he's going to get peppered with those targets. So, moving on with my guy, I'm going to go with rookie Tank Dell. From the Houston Texans. He's been phenomenal the past 2 games. He's had 17 targets, 12 catches, and I believe in his last game he had 29 yards per catch. So he's definitely a deep threat. He's a guy that CJ trusts, and that'll only expand his role. That is, will only expand as the season gets deeper. So I feel comfortable with Tank starting him, especially he's the wide receiver 13, I believe, so far this season. And, as we see with rookies, especially Wilson, Chris Olave, Christian Watson, they only tend to get better as the season progresses. So they play Pittsburgh this week. Pittsburgh's defense is a little hurt. We don't know what's going on with Minka yet. So that's a big loss in their secondary, and I think that they'll just provide more opportunities for Tank Dell. So that's who I'm going with.
Yeah, no, I love Tank Dell. That's one of the guys that we even were talking about in the offseason at first seeing just about the hype around him, that him and CJ were like best friends coming out of college. So yeah, definitely excited to see him like actually get going now. It's looking like he might be a must start for the rest of the year. So I love that start there.
Hey everyone, before we get into sits for the week, I do just want to highlight our good partners over at Rival Fantasy, which is a really cool new take on fantasy football, or just a new way to play some fantasy as the NFL season rolls on. If you use our code First Seed or use the link in our description, and sign up for an account, make a deposit, you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. So you put in 20 bucks, you get a free $20 to play around with as well. Plus a free $25 voucher. So you can use that $25 to just play wherever you'd like. So for example, let me just highlight a little bit of fun that Rival offers and highlight Fantasy Bingo. So this is a card that I had last week. You basically put together a DFS style roster, but you're not within the confines of a salary. You just kind of pick your team: a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight end, kicker, and a flex. And then you are assigned a random bingo board up to however many cards that you like to buy, and you kind of hope that your team fills out that bingo board as the week goes on. So this one's a loser, but for example, this roster, this card had over 150 total yards for a wide receiver. A tight end fumbled. QB had an interception, or RB had over 50 rushing yards. And this isn't like a combined, my RBs had 50 rushing. One running back had 50 plus. Running a receiver had over 100 receiving yards. But you get the gist. At least I hope. You get this bingo board, and you hope that your team gives you a bingo. And for example, I'll show here of the prize pool that kind of generates as the week approaches, which is like if you buy it, you add on to that prize pool. Yeah, 56% of that goes to a diagonal winner, vertical, or you basically make a 5 tiles in a row, vertical, horizontal, diagonally, or you get a tile, you get the postcard in any 4-corner, and you just you build that roster, make it a good one, and then you hope that you can get a bingo. So just wanted to highlight that. That is Fantasy Bingo on Rival Fantasy. Use code FIRSTSEED. Give it a shot. You get a free $25 voucher with your first deposit. And have fun. Now let's see those sits.
And all right, we're going to dive into some sits this week as well for week 4. So I'm going to start it off here, and we're going to take a look at the negatives this week. And I think one of them is going to be James Cook. You know, the Buffalo Bills were up 37-3 last week. They ended up winning the game in a blowout win. And James Cook only saw 15 carries in that game. So the amount of carries that he's seeing is not really making me too excited about his outlook, especially in a closer game with the Dolphins this week. And his receiving usage hasn't been as what I expected, as kind of that bell cow back. So you also see Latavius Murray getting some goal line work on that football team. So James Cook really isn't going to be a play for me this week. I would trust him a lot more if his targets were up, but they're not really. So I'm sitting James Cook this week.
Understandable. I definitely, if it's between like James Cook and someone in that draft range, where like DeAndre Swift, maybe, I definitely would feel more comfortable starting Swift as opposed to Cook this week. And for my set, it's going to be Jackson Smith-Njigba, JSN. He just hasn't had that beginning to the season that we would have hoped for someone being in that offense, the Seahawks offense, that is. Hasn't had a 10-plus point game yet in the past 3 weeks. He's only gotten 14 targets, so that's roughly 5 targets a game. That's not really what you want from someone in that offense, or especially if you're starting him, that is. And Gino just prioritizes DK and Tyler Lockett. I mean, those are just comfortable options for him. The reason he succeeded last year was because of those guys just catching the balls for him. So JSN, I just feel like you're just relying on him getting a touchdown this week against the Giants. Not the best defense, but still, I would feel that Gino would prioritize DK and Lockett over JSN, and until I see otherwise, I just feel comfortable putting him on the bench.
Yeah, and I can't disagree there. You know, JSN coming in as the wide receiver 1 this year, he had a lot of hype on him, and he's kind of sitting in that same boat as Quentin Johnston is over with the Chargers. And you know, maybe Johnston gets his shot now with no Mike Williams for the rest of the year, but it's kind of the same thing with JSN, just that lack of volume. And you're kind of, like you said, hoping he just finds the end zone to make that flex play worth it. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm totally on board. We're going to go ahead and we are going to start Michael Pittman this week, and we are going to start Tank Dell, and we are sitting James Cook, and we are sitting JSN this week. So there you have it, our week 4 starts and sits. Dante, just like last week, we went 3 for 3 on the bets. What do you got this week? Hit me with your lock of the week, man.
My favorite time of the video. I'm going to go with Miami +3.
There we
I
go.
think it's -115 at the moment. It's good. It's a divisional matchup. Every time the past 3 times they played, the scores were Buffalo 34-31, Miami won 32-29, and Buffalo won 19-21. So those are all, within 3 points, and I just feel like the next game will follow suit.
Yeah, keep it rolling, man. I like it. You know, I have a very in the future prediction here, but I'm looking at Dolphins Chiefs AFC Championship game. So we'll see if this is the Dolphins here, but I'm on board. And I'm going to add on to the Dolphins +3, and I am going with my lock of the week, which is going to be the Jaguars -3 in a bounce back week. Jaguars got the Atlanta Falcons this week at home. I don't think they're going to look that bad again. This is a Jaguars team that looked as if they were going to be a top 5 team in the AFC last year, and they kind of were around that range all year. I think they bounce back this week, and they'll be fine against Atlanta and take care of business. So there you have it. A little 2-leg parlay this week. Use that money you won on the video last week. Go ahead and throw it on this 2-leg parlay, and hopefully we can make some more money this week. But other than that, we're going to wrap it up here. We got our Week 4 start sits. As always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit us up on all of our socials. You can hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Hit us up. Let us know. And if you're looking to make some extra money this week, you could also use the code FIRSTSEED at Underdog Fantasy and get up to 100% deposit match. So win some extra money, win some with us. Let us know if we missed anything. Dante?
You forgot to tell them to smash that like button and tap the bell for notifications on YouTube, bro.
Smash the like and
smash
tap
the
bell.
like button.
Smash the like and tap the bell for notifications. All right.
Yeah.
Be up to speed with everything we got going on. It's highly appreciated. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Dante, anything to wrap it up here?
No, sir. You did everything for me. Hopefully we go 2 for 2 next week and keep the train moving.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week for Week 5.
Peace.